Before we dive in, if you enjoy real, raw stories like this, please subscribe to my channel and share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear how you'd handle a situation like mine. I'll never forget the moment it all started to unravel. It was a Thursday evening, and we were supposed to have a quiet dinner at home. My wife, Lisa, had been distant lately, more critical, more distracted. She kept making offhand comments about how I never seemed ambitious enough, or how money isn't everything, but it matters. I tried to brush them off, convincing myself I was overreacting. That night, she brought it up again while we were cooking. "Sometimes I wonder if you're even trying to build a future," she said casually, stirring the pasta sauce. Her words stung more than I expected. I nodded quietly, smiling faintly, pretending not to feel the ache in my chest. Over the next few weeks, subtle signs began to pile up. She'd answer texts quickly, then hide her phone. She'd leave the room suddenly during calls, claiming they were work emergencies. At first, I blamed myself. Was I too distracted? Too distant? But the feeling in my gut told me something wasn't right. One evening, I noticed an unfamiliar number on her phone buzzing repeatedly. I hesitated, but my curiosity and fear won. I glimpsed a few messages before she noticed, her tone soft, playful, flirting with someone I didn't know. My chest tightened. Confusion, anger, betrayal. They collided in an overwhelming storm. I confronted her gently at first. "Lisa, who's texting you like that?" She hesitated, then laughed nervously. "It's nothing, just a friend from work." But the lie didn't feel convincing. I wanted to believe her, desperately. But trust, once fragile, begins to crumble at the smallest crack. Then came the dinner with her friends. I had been hesitant to go. Something in my gut told me this night could change everything, but I agreed. As we sat down, the conversation turned, inevitably, to money. I kept quiet, listening. Her friends laughed about expensive trips, luxury cars, and investments. I could feel Lisa's gaze on me, filled with judgment, as if I didn't belong in their world. Her ex, a man named Jordan, happened to be there too. He was wealthy, successful, flashy, the type she clearly admired. He leaned over to her at one point, whispering something. I didn't hear the words, but I saw her laugh, her smile brighter than it had ever been with me that night. My stomach churned, a sense of helplessness taking hold. That was when it happened. She leaned over to me and whispered, almost mockingly, "You should try to keep up." Her words weren't about the conversation. They were about me, the person I was. And suddenly everything made sense. Every distant glance, every hidden message, every subtle insult. All of it was about how she judged me for not being enough in her eyes. I felt my heart break. Not because I wasn't wealthy, not because I wasn't successful, but because the person I loved had reduced me to numbers on a bank statement. I spent that night awake, thinking about every moment we'd shared. Our quiet mornings, our late night talks, the promises we made. Had they meant nothing to her? I questioned myself endlessly. Was I too naive, too slow to provide? Or was her judgment a reflection of who she really was? A week later, I made a decision. I invited her to a meeting, not at a restaurant, not at home, but to my office. I had been keeping a secret of my own, something she had never suspected, something that would make her see the truth, whether she liked it or not. As she walked in, her eyes narrowed in confusion. The office was sleek, minimalist, professional, a world she had never truly seen me inhabit. I gestured to a nameplate on my desk, CEO. Her jaw dropped. I watched her struggle to process it. You're the CEO, she stammered, voice barely above a whisper. I nodded. I've been running this company for years. Quietly, efficiently. You judged me because you never saw this part of me. You thought money defined me, or worse, that I didn't have enough. Her face went pale, and I could see the guilt creeping in, the realization of her misjudgment. She opened her mouth, tried to explain, tried to justify. I didn't know. I thought. I held up my hand. No explanations. You chose to judge me before you understood me. That's not love, Lisa. That's expectation, projection, and entitlement. And I won't let it define my worth or mine anymore. There was a long silence. She tried to reach for my hand, but I didn't move. That's when I knew some lessons can't be undone. Some betrayals are not about infidelity. They're about the lack of respect and understanding in someone you trusted most. In the days that followed, we talked, but differently. There was honesty now, but also distance. I wasn't angry anymore, I was sad. Sad for the love I had poured into someone who didn't see me fully. Sad for the years I had spent trying to fit into her expectations instead of embracing my own path. The truth liberated me. I realized I didn't need her validation or anyone else's to feel whole. I had worked tirelessly, quietly, to build something meaningful. And no amount of judgment, criticism, or misperception could take that away from me. I also learned that love is not admiration for money or status. It's about respect, empathy, and understanding. When those are missing, the relationship becomes a performance and the heartbreak is inevitable. Eventually, Lisa left, unable to reconcile her expectations with the reality of who I truly was. It hurt, yes, but in the pain, I found clarity. I discovered that self-respect isn't negotiable, and that true fulfillment comes not from someone else's approval, but from knowing your own worth. Sometimes, the most painful lessons teach the deepest truths. I lost her, but I found myself, and that, I realized, was worth everything. If you've ever felt judged, misunderstood, or underestimated by someone you love, share your story in the comments. I read every one. And remember, your value is not in what others think you should be. It's in who you are quietly and fully in your own life.